Hi everyone, Donut here, and we got us a pretty crazy chase out of Moore, Oklahoma that lasted about 2 hours today, some headlines, and we're going to look at that shooting out of Rhode Island. First up on the list of things to do, we got this chase out of Oklahoma. I can't find much information on how the chase started, other than they were chasing this guy in a black truck. The entire chase lasted around 2 hours. I went through most of the footage, and we're going to look at the highlight reel now. For the first few minutes of the chase, a suspect drove at high speeds around a residential area. You can see police following closely behind him. Then he stops, and there are no police around him, but he pulls this orange toolbox out of the back of his truck, and then suddenly this dude pulls up in a grocery getter and starts shooting at him.
He decided to get the toolbox out of the back of the pickup. It was just making too much noise for him, I guess. I guess he figures if he can get as much stuff out of this pickup that he can, the charges will be less here, Alex, because he's not stealing it. Okay, what's happening here? That may have been somebody he's been in I don't know. Okay, shooting the tires. Appears shots were fired at the tires. Okay, appears shots were fired. So that must have been an undercover police officer or somebody. I'm not quite sure.
I still have no idea exactly what happened there. Someone sent me a message saying that was a pastor at a local church who pulled up and shot the tires out. If the police are chasing a person, please don't pull up and jump out of your car and start shooting at that person. It's not the best thing to do. So Cletus drives on for like another hour and a half away from police. He's driving through fields. They're throwing out stop sticks. He's going around stop sticks. They try to ram him. He goes around them. And then finally he throws his truck into reverse and goes into a pond in the middle of a field.
That's a game warden.
So the chase is over. No, not yet. Police surround him. They're probably saying something like, hey, stop your bullshit. And he's saying, hey, screw you. I don't got to do nothing. And he takes off running again. I don't know what the ground is made of out there in the fields in Oklahoma, but everyone's having a hard time moving around. Police are chasing him. They get a little winded. They can't chase him anymore. He starts power walking a little bit. The police are power walking after him. Got one officer driving around with his bumper hanging off of his car, and finally the officer who's closest to him just gets tired of it and fires his taser from like 15 feet away. It looks like a pretty long taser shot, but it makes a connection and dude goes down. 2-hour chase is over. Now, I still don't know why they were chasing him. I can't find it in any official reports. If you guys know, please leave it in the comments below. On to some headlines that I have collected this week. First up, Kansas City detective ends interview with suspect answering questions with loud farts. You heard me correctly. 24-year-old Sean Sykes Jr. of Kansas City was wanted for selling drugs and possessing firearms when he wasn't supposed to. You see, Mr. Sykes is a felon. He cannot possess a firearm, even though he had 3 of them on his persons, 2 of them which were stolen. When questioned by investigators, he wouldn't stop farting during the interview, so they had to cut the interview short. The detective who was questioning Mr. Sykes wrote on their report, Mr. Sykes continued to be flatulent, and I ended the interview. What a shitty interview. Next up, after a night of drinking, FBI supervisor wakes to find a woman stole his gun. AKA, I got hammered drunk with a stripper and didn't secure my weapon. I'm not making fun of him, we've all been there. Just make sure you put your Glock in the little safe after you get hammered drunk with the strippers. An FBI counterterrorism supervisor was drinking at a bar in North Carolina with some strippers. They ended up going back to his room, and the next morning he woke up without his Rolex, $60 in cash, and his FBI-issued service pistol. Reports state that no arrests have been made and they have not recovered the gun. Come on, man. We've all seen the video of the crazy hot skill. If you go back to the room with some strippers, gotta lock your gun up. The next story that we're going to take a look at is 7 years old, but Reddit was passing it around earlier this week, and I saw it and had to save it, and I just wanted to show you guys because it's pretty awesome. In 2010, Pakistani police arrested a U.S. citizen named Gary Faulkner, who was found with a loaded pistol and a sword near the Afghan border. Right? What the hell was he doing? Why would he be wandering around the Afghan-Pakistani border with a sword and a gun? Well, when they arrested him, he said he was there to kill Osama bin Laden. Reports state that he told the investigating officer he was going to Afghanistan to get Osama. At first, we thought he was mentally deranged, said Muhammad Jafar Khan, the police chief, but when police realized he was carrying a loaded pistol and a 40-inch sword and night vision goggles, Khan said, we realized he was serious. He ended up being questioned, he didn't face any charges, and he was eventually deported back to the United States. I just thought that was a cool story, and I should share it with you fine people. The last thing that we're going to take a look at before we start our weekends is this shooting out of Rhode Island. So here's what I can find right now as far as this shooting goes and what happened. It was originally stated that this was connected to a man named Donald Morgan, who had been left in a patrol car by a Rhode Island state trooper alone in handcuffs. He ended up still in the car, driving to a residential neighborhood and escaping. That incident was not connected to the shooting that's being passed around Facebook right now. All that has been released right now in reports is that officers were chasing the truck. Obviously, they surrounded the truck. The truck was trying to ram cars in front of it to get away, and the officers opened fire on it. As I said, it was reported a man inside of the truck died, a woman was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and no weapons were found inside of the truck. From what I understand, there is body camera footage on it, so we'll be able to get a clear picture of that once all those are released. This is Donut, and I just want to remind everyone that if you have Amazon Prime, you can go over to twitch.tv/donutoperator, subscribe to me for free. It really helps out the channel. I love hanging out with you guys at night and playing PC games. If you don't want to subscribe, I would still love to see you jump over there, have a conversation with me. It's really cool hanging out and chatting with you guys while I'm playing PC games. Sometimes, I get you guys in the games and play with you. It's a lot of fun. Everyone, please have a fantastic weekend.